All right, hey, what's going on, you guys? How do you do? It's your boy Gray here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be giving my final review on Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This is the video I do at the end of the life cycle for a Call of Duty game, right before the new Call of Duty drops. I usually like to give my final review on the Call of Duty that we just played, give some pros, some cons, and give my general thoughts and opinions on it. I also like to give a little bit of a rating out of 10. I'll have the rating for you guys towards the end of the video, so enjoy the gameplay in the background while I talk. If I can ask for an early like on today's video, I'd really appreciate that a lot. Subscribe if you're new around here, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Give us a follow over on Twitch and on our social media platforms if you guys haven't done so already, and make sure to stick around for the Black Ops 7 content coming up. So I'm trying to think exactly where I want to start, and I think this is what I want to say just to start things off. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was a major fumble, and it absolutely broke my heart. This is the first time in the last 8 years that I've been, doing YouTube, playing Call of Duty with you guys. This is the first time that I've really kind of just stopped playing Call of Duty. And we've had some god-awful Call of Duties in the past, and I've stuck with them. I've played them all through their life cycle until the next Call of Duty came out. I never really wavered or never really wandered away. And this is the first time, I would say, with about a month or maybe even more than a month left in this game's life cycle, that I just stopped playing. And I've stuck around till the very end, playing every day with Vanguard, with Call of Duty World War II, with Modern Warfare 2, and with my personal most disliked Call of Duty, I know it might be an unpopular opinion, but I absolutely hated Modern Warfare 2019. And even that year, I played it the entire year. Treyarch had such a great opportunity to do something really special with this game, and they just completely dropped the ball. And I don't know, man, this is why I was saying the other day, like, how grateful and thankful I am for Battlefield 6, because it really lit a fire under Call of Duty, under Activision, to make a better product. I think Black Ops 6 is what happens when you don't have any competition and you get extremely lazy with your work. And Black Ops 7 looks like it's about to be a good year for a lot of content. It's basically, Black Ops 7 is basically like Black Ops 6 DLC, and basically everything that they should have done for Black Ops 6 is now what we're going to be getting for Black Ops 7, apparently. And I don't know who was in charge of the pricing models. I don't know who was in charge of the Call of Duty store. I don't know who was in charge of putting these bundles together and pricing these bundles, but whoever that person is, whoever that group is, I'm gonna say it straight up, man, you guys are absolute pieces of shit. I have never seen so many bundles costing $30 that had nothing, had no value. And even as the bundle guy, I refrained from buying and covering a bunch of those $30 bundles. This game had a lot of promise at launch, and everybody, including myself, we were just so excited for this game. And literally by season 2, I mean, you could already tell that this was just a massive letdown. So I guess with that opening statement here, let's get into some of the pros and cons. I'll start with the cons here, and then once I'm done with the pros and cons, we'll go into the conclusion here, into my final rating for this game, and then we'll wrap up. So under the cons category, like I already mentioned, bundles in this game were such a massive letdown. And in turn, because I am the bundle guy, unfortunately, like, that is what I'm best known for here on YouTube. That's kind of where I established my brand here, is that I cover bundles for you guys. Unfortunately, I had an awful year with views, with my finances over on YouTube. It was just a very bad year, but that does fall because of the Black Ops 6 bundles, which were just some of the worst that we've seen. And not only were they some of the worst that we've seen, but these prices all year were just some I just couldn't believe it. And then speaking of bundles and just some of the worst bundles that we've seen, all of these corny, like, heavy cartoon skins. I don't mind one or two like skins, like if you introduce a Beavis and Butthead and you're doing like the cartoonish skins of those, or an animated skin of those, like, I get that. But when it's one thing after another, like introducing like the American Dad stuff and all of the other cartoony skins. And then all of these like animal skins. You guys remember those? Like some weird ass animal skins that just make no sense. Like, you guys want to know why I was so happy that carry forward wasn't going to be a thing at the start of season 1 or at the start of Black Ops 7? Because it might still be introduced at some point in the game's life cycle. But I was just so happy not to see any of those operator skins in Black Ops 7. Which, by the way, Zombies and Warzone should have a carry forward. I just don't think that should be in multiplayer. You know, next I want to talk about the post-launch content. I felt like Treyarch just really dropped the ball. I mean, I can see why. Like, we all see what happened. But the post-launch content and the post-launch support was just almost non-existent. And obviously it's because this game was such a failure, they just stopped caring and they're just focused now on Black Ops 7 and making Black Ops 7 the best possible game that they can make. They just accepted the L and are just trying to move on with life, you know? But the post-launch support, it just seemed a lot of the content just seemed like remastered content, like stuff that we've already had in previous Call of Duties that you're just bringing it back here. There was very little like unique Black Ops 6 stuff that really stood out. Not to mention, it's so funny, if you look back on like some of the live streams that I've done in the past in MW3, I literally said that Black Ops 6 was going to be a letdown if they didn't continue doing what MW3 was doing with the post-launch content. And lo and behold, man, and it happened exactly just that way. You can't introduce something like weekly challenges that give you weekly content that clearly is a massive hit for the player base and then just take it away the next year and act like it's all good. How you guys didn't see that as something that should have been in this game is beyond me. You guys are paying all of these employees an insane amount of money per year. I'm assuming 70,000 plus per year, I'm assuming. And not one of those guys not one of those employees took somebody to the side and was like, hey, this is a massive feature that people are enjoying. It has to be in this next year's Call of Duty. Like nobody thought that. And that's what bothers me so much, that nobody thought that. It's just ignorance at that point. I really don't understand how you guys missed that opportunity. Yeah, post-launch content was just god-awful. That is definitely one of the cons as well. I'm trying to think about the maps for the most part, and we'll talk more about this in the pros, but I really did love the maps. But there were 2 maps that I refused to play. Well, I don't want to say 2 maps that I refused, because I played one, and I'll talk about it right here, man. The map that I refused to play whenever it showed up was Red Card. That was a 1 map. I don't care who I was with, what was happening. If Red Card showed up, if Red Card got voted, if it came up as like the random map that people voted for, I would just back out. That Red Card map is such a bad map. The other map that I really truly disliked was Derelict. And if people like those maps, it's probably because they like to take advantage of the heavy camping and the heavy head glitch areas. Probably have a weird ass playstyle, because if you're an aggro player, Red Card and Derelict are 2 of the worst maps for that, because there are so many areas for people to just hide and wait. But I kind of made up my mind with Derelict, and I said that if Derelict ever comes up, that I would play it, but I would use a shotgun every time. And the amount of hell that I brought to those Derelict lobbies, man, I felt bad for anybody. And I would always tell them, like, don't vote for it. If you vote for it, you're not gonna like what's coming. But those are the 2 maps that I truly disliked in Black Ops 6. Every other map I truly generally enjoyed. There was one DLC map that came towards the end. I think it came up in season 6 or maybe in season 5. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a terminal or something like that. But yeah, that map, I didn't like that map, but I would play it. And then lastly here for Black Ops 6, I wasn't too big a fan of the score streaks. I felt like not only were they generally pretty difficult to obtain as far as like just streaking in this game, but even when you obtained them, they were really easy to shoot down. I mean, I think the most powerful 2 streaks in this game that were, if you got them, there was nothing you could do. It was the advanced UAV. You got to shoot that thing with so many rockets to shoot down, and maybe the gunship. I think the gunship was a little difficult to shoot down, but even that, if you work together with somebody, you could shoot that down fairly fast. Streaks weren't my favorite thing in this game. I think I pretty much used the same, like a mix of the same 4 streaks throughout the life cycle. So not a lot of variety there with the score streaks. And sorry, one more thing I will say that was like a con for me, a negative thing for me with Black Ops 6. I didn't enjoy how basically every build had the exact same attachments. Like if you wanted to create like a best class setup, it was basically the same attachments on every weapon. Ergonomic grip, grip, infiltrator stock, the vertical foregrip or the ranger foregrip. You know, for me, I'm a suppressor guy, so the suppressor, not even the monolithic, because it was rarely ever a chance to use the monolithic in multiplayer. You would have to go with the suppressor over it. Like the barrels would make a difference on certain guns, but not really. I mean, it was pretty much either the long barrel or the reinforced barrel, and then extended mag 1. You know, like it was pretty much the same for every weapon. Obviously, there were some here and there that would utilize certain different attachments, but for the most part, I would go as far as saying 95% of the guns in this game would utilize the same exact build. So with that out of the way, man, let's talk about some of the pros, some of the good things that I really enjoyed about Black Ops 6. Now, first and foremost, Omni movement, which I'm so happy to see is making a return. I'm wondering if it'll be back next year for whatever the next Call of Duty is, but Omni movement was a massive hit in my opinion for me. Being able to run forward, backwards, side to side, dive, and all that stuff, it was great. The movement was definitely one of the best things about Black Ops 6. I don't know if everybody enjoyed this, but I personally liked it very much. I like the fact that they brought back the traditional prestige, but maybe that's because I'm an old school Call of Duty player. I've been playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4 Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, so I've always just been used to the traditional prestige. But I played this game so little, I think I hit prestige master, and I think I just made it up to like almost level 600. I think every other year I would be in a 900, 800s or so, even closing in on 1,000. Something else I really enjoyed about Black Ops 6 this year was the fact that there wasn't necessarily like something else I truly enjoyed about Black Ops 6 is that there wasn't necessarily like an overpowered weapon. You could basically use damn near any weapon in multiplayer. Like obviously there were weapons that had a faster time to kill, some were a little bit stronger, but I could literally run out there with the weakest pistol, with the weakest build, and I could still probably be the top player of my team. I felt like they had a really good hand on weapon balance. It was a consistent like nerfs and buffs and adjustments being made on the weapons and ranges and damage outputs. Can't say the same for Warzone, but that's Warzone, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm not really too big on Warzone, because people just find the 1 or 2 guns that are like the best weapons, the meta weapons, and that's basically all you can use in Warzone. And people are always just like, oh, Warzone is so much better than multiplayer, but it's like you're limited. Like unless you're a top 5% player, like unless you're like Booyah or Z-Laner or some of these like top players, yeah, you can use whatever gun you want and it doesn't really matter. But for the most part, 95% of the player base in Warzone has to use the meta weapons to even stand a chance. I want to talk about Warzone. I don't want to get into a whole Warzone thing here. You guys know I get hot. I get heated over Warzone. Next up here, let's talk about the multiplayer maps. Like I mentioned, man, I felt like for the most part, I truly enjoyed all of the multiplayer maps aside from Red Card and Derelict. I know a lot of people weren't fans of how small the maps were, but there was a variety in sizes for several maps. Was there like a large ass map in this game? I don't really think there was, but that's fine. I mean, I feel like if you want to play a large ass, go play some Battlefield or something, you know? I feel like for multiplayer, like small to medium size is the best, I think. I like also for this year, I like the inclusion of the special weapons that were introduced. I think the Olympia being a special weapon was a weird choice. I mean, it is a shotgun, so put it under the shotgun category. But for the most part, every other special weapon was ideally, yes, that it was a special weapon to use. And finally, for my pros here, and maybe this is something that you guys might not agree with. I have heard people talking about this. I think Iceman Isaacs was one who said something like this. I can't remember. Somebody else mentioned this. But I personally was a big fan of the new perk system, where if you utilize, what is it, 2 or 3 of the same colored perks, that you get an additional perk, a specialty perk. I actually do like that, because it makes you think of like what exactly you want to use and whether or not that specialty perk is something that you care about, which I would say for the first 4 seasons of Black Ops 6, I did have a specific perk setup that allowed me to get the specialty perk. But I will admit, man, in the last 2 seasons, I didn't really care about that, and I just utilized different perks that help my gameplay feel a lot better. But regardless of that, I did think that the specialty perks and the combat specialty perks was a great idea. I know that they're doing like an upgrade to that for Black Ops 7. So yeah, that's something I really enjoyed with Black Ops 6. I'm sure there's more stuff. I can't really think about it at the moment. But for the topics that I covered, those were generally the big issues or the big pros that I had with Black Ops 6. So we finally get to the point here where I'm going to give you guys my personal rating of the Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and this is specific to the multiplayer. I didn't really grind zombies. I mean, I grinded it for like the first season, and then after they patched certain like glitches, I stopped playing zombies, so I basically only played it for one season. The campaign I thought was a decent campaign, but I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm just here rating the multiplayer. And my rating for the multiplayer this year is a 6 out of 10, and that's me being generous because I truly wanted to go 5.5, but I'm like, yeah, let's just give it a 6. So 6 out of 10, man, for this year's Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Again, man, this year truly broke my heart. They really let me down this year, and as somebody whose livelihood depends on a game, it sucks, but that is the truth, man. As a Call of Duty content creator, that is the box that I placed myself in. When a Call of Duty game unfortunately does bad, that reflects over on me and my work. So 6 out of 10, and that's me being generous. I truly hope that Black Ops 7 is an upgrade from what we experienced with Black Ops 6. I'm assuming, and I'm fairly certain, we are going to be getting a bunch of content, and I believe that's mainly because the next Call of Duty game has already been established to be on a different engine. So basically all of the content that they have stashed for either that they had stashed for Black Ops 6 or for Black Ops 7, all of that stuff does need to be used, or else it'll just go to waste. So I truly hope that Black Ops 7 will be a good year, but after the year that we had with Black Ops 6, my hopes are very low. But everything we've learned so far, everything we've seen, and from what we experienced in the beta, I can say I am looking forward to Black Ops 7, and I do think that they are going to do a good job. And that's with the gameplay, with the multiplayer. I don't know about the bundles. Whoever's in charge of bundles, you gotta go. We're doing such a disservice to the community by the work that you're doing with these bundles. You can't possibly be making a ton of sales off those bundles at the prices that you're putting them. Like the same bundles that would cost $30, if they cost like $15 or $20 even, like a 2,000 COD point bundle or a 1,500 COD point bundle, I would assume sales would even double, maybe even triple at those prices in comparison to what they are when they're $30, 3,000 COD point bundles. Correlation between you guys being so money hungry, but then putting these 3,000 COD point bundles out that practically, I'm assuming 5% of the community is buying, is truly beyond me, man. But anyways, I'm gonna call it there, you guys. That is my review for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Please let me know in the comment section below, what is your rating? What would you guys rate Black Ops 6 this year out of 10? Let me know. I appreciate the love and support this year. Those of you who stuck with me, I thank you all so much for having my back and showing up for me day in and day out for live streams and videos. I did the best I could with the content that was provided. And even though I kind of just gave up on this game and I moved over to Battlefield, I love Call of Duty. I'm a Call of Duty guy at heart, and I'm hoping that Black Ops 7 does well. So subscribe if you are new around here. Turn on notifications. Drop a like, all that good stuff. Any comments, questions, concerns, please let me know in the comment section below. Remember, you can use code GRAY over at Control Freaks. You can also use code GRAY over at Aim Controllers, and you can use code YTGRAY over at G Fuel. Links in the description below to everything I just mentioned. If you use my code at checkout, you get a nice discount off your order. Give us a follow outside of YouTube on our social media platform, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Links to everything, once again, in the description below, man. I'm going to call it there, guys. More content coming up. Stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, till the next one, my name is Gray. Peace.